Hey guys, it's the Doc, and here's our next installment of the hashtag Ask Dr. Mudgil series of posts, and this one comes in from Reddit. The question is, does massaging a hypertrophic scar will help with its fading? Just read about it only and wanted to know if it would help, do nothing, or make it worse. Well, that's a good question. So a hypertrophic scar typically happens from some sort of trauma. It could be from like a medical procedure or an injury, and it's a scar that's like thick and spreads out a little bit. So in answering your question, rubbing a hypertrophic scar, it's definitely not going to hurt it. So you're not going to make it worse by rubbing it. It's either going to help it a little bit or do nothing at all. When you put like a silicone pad, and I'm sure you've seen like silicone scar pads or heard of them, it's basically just like smushing the scar. It's compressing the scar, which is analogous to kind of rubbing it. A silicone pad is probably a better option than just rubbing it because it just sits on there for a prolonged period of time. But even those in and of themselves don't do a ton. Usually when you combine it with some treatment that your dermatologist can do for you, and like I said, if you're in the New York area, like I always say, you're welcome to come see the doc and I'm happy to help you. But if it's a thick hypertrophic scar, typically the first step is we inject some cortisone into it to flatten it out, and you can combine that with either rubbing it immediately after you get those injections, for a few days after, because it spreads the cortisone around in the scar and allows it to kind of get thinner. The cortisone causes that thick collagen in the scar to atrophy. Or you can put a silicone pad over it, or you can do both. So typically, some sort of combination treatment is your best strategy. So I would recommend that you get in to see a local board-certified dermatologist. If you're not in the New York area, I'm sure you can find a great dermatologist in your area. This is kind of like bread and butter stuff for dermatologists. So generally the first step is we inject some cortisone, get it to flatten out. And then once it's flat, if it's still not cosmetically like elegant enough for you or you're not happy with the appearance, there are various lasers that can be employed to improve the appearance of the scar as well. So that's like the icing on the cake. The first step is to reduce the thickness of the scar. And the next step would be to do something, only if you wanted to help blend it in with the surrounding skin. So just to bring it full circle, you're not going to hurt your scar by rubbing it or making it worse. Probably not going to do much, to be honest with you, without some other type of treatment which your dermatologist could help you with. But it might help a little. I hope that answers your question. Let's get it.